He must never sleep. 24 hours is all you have in a day. And Peter seems to fill every one of those 24 hours. So I wonder when he actually sleeps.
Peter Shergold is an extraordinary person. To describe him in a nutshell is extremely difficult. Peter is a multifaceted individual.
I love his humility. You can't believe who he is when you're talking to him.
He is as gracious to the waiter at the table as he would be to the Prime Minister.
He's incredibly enthusiastic. He's a really warm person, and he's got a wicked sense of humour.
Peter's a tireless worker, wants to see the university succeed and has done so much to ensure that that's happening.
He's like a polymath. He's like a modern polymath.
Like if I think of Peter Shergold, I think of service and contribution to the public.
One of the reasons he was attracted to Western Sydney University is he has a deep interest in addressing educational disadvantage.
He's a huge supporter of students from refugee and asylum seeker backgrounds and does a tremendous amount of work to support their aspirations towards higher education.
We have managed to raise a lot of funding for sponsorship and scholarships to refugees. Today we have Western Sydney University Refugee Scholarship. We also have Western Sydney University Asylum Seeker Scholarship, and that has always been the brain of Peter.
Peter believes fervently in the transformational power of education. His review with David Gonski of tertiary education in New South Wales is just one example of that. A sector-leading and internationally recognised review to say we have to do education differently.
He is a person very, very concerned about low socioeconomic areas, and he has made a mission of making sure that the university does what it was established to do, to help educate those and to change lives.
He is devoted to making Western Sydney a better place for everyone who lives here, and I think he's always thought about what the university does with that in mind.
He has this great capacity to connect and then draw people together on a common purpose and vision. And when he was first appointed as Coordinator General for Refugees, he would compare himself to the Fat Controller from Thomas the Tank Engine. So that really endeared him to many people.
He's so humble, Peter. I think we were naming the Parramatta building after him, and in his speech he said, behind every successful man is a very surprised woman. That's someone who's humble, who's funny, who has life in perspective.
He's been able to guide the university through some very difficult periods. There's no doubt about it. We've come through a pandemic. I think we've managed that extraordinarily well.
For a new university, a relatively new university, it has actually risen in status quite considerably in the last few years. What you need there is good leadership to achieve that.
Peter has elevated that university together with the current Vice-Chancellor so that it is one of the great universities.
How fitting that the university is number one this year on the Times Higher Education Impact Rankings.
He wouldn't be the Chancellor of a university like Western Sydney University unless he was deeply concerned about the communities we serve and the opportunities we provide, and for him to understand those things and know how we can bring about change, and in the most compassionate, engaging and inclusive way. That's Peter Shergold.
So when I heard that Peter was retiring, I had a pang of regret.
We knew it was inevitable, and I was also very worried because how do you follow Peter Shergold?
We just got out of COVID, we're back to face, and then he's leaving. There's still heaps he's got to do.
I'll just miss Peter Shergold the most. I'll miss the man in my life.
He will continue to contribute. I think someone of such a calibre will always want to give back, but it probably will be on his terms.
If I was speaking directly to Peter, my message would be, Peter, your contribution has been immense. There are very few with what you've got, Peter, and we're so lucky to have your contribution, and we dream of that contribution continuing for years and years to come in good health.
There's a time to retire, but you don't have to retire entirely from public life. And when you have the great gifts that you have, it'd be a pity for the rest of us for those not to still be available.
I hope, Peter, that you get to enjoy more time with your beautiful wife Carol and your wonderful family.
Peter, congratulations on a truly extraordinary chancellorship.
Thank you that I got to cross my path with you.
Thank you for being the champion at the university we really needed.
Thank you very much for talking me into coming onto the board of Western Sydney University.
Thank you very much, Peter, for your gift of education and opportunity to so many people. You are somebody of great integrity. You will be missed very much, and I wish you well.
Thank you, Peter. Thank you.